Hi, this is Peter Madden from Speech Empowered Computing, and I'm doing a review of a new and clever piece of software from the Belgian company Speechware called PhraseWizard. So what is PhraseWizard and what does it do and what's the benefit of it? Well, basically this is a tool that they've developed to analyze a large number of documents to create custom vocabulary very quickly for you to use in Dragon NaturallySpeaking. Now, we all know that building custom vocabulary is a key way to achieving high accuracy with Dragon NaturallySpeaking. But the problem is it can take quite a while and a lot of use of Dragon to build up a good vocabulary list. There are two licenses possible with PhraseWizard, a single-use license and a master license. And let's talk a little bit about what the differences are between the two. I'm going to open the PhraseWizard manual. Main differences are between PhraseWizard and Dragon. So the right-hand column lists all the benefits of PhraseWizard versus Dragon. But I want to jump down to the bottom and I want to show the difference between these, the single-use license on the left and the master license on the right. So there are three key differences. Firstly, the master license supports complex regular expressions. These are codings you can put into the software to highlight, for example, postcodes, UK postcodes, US postcodes, and other customized text patterns. I'll try to touch on that in this demonstration. The master license comes with updates, and the master license allows you to have unlimited working sessions. Now, to demonstrate this, I'm going to be using some radiography text. Let's open this Word file and I'll show you what I mean. I've been working with a radiographer recently, helping her to use Dragon NaturallySpeaking to improve her productivity. And I asked her for a typical radiography document, and she gave me this one. So this is a nice juicy document with lots of words and phrases in it. Close that, and I'm just going to drag and drop this into the files list. Now down at the bottom, the software tells us what files we can add here, and it gives a brief description of some of these buttons. Open last file list if you want to come back and open files you were working with in a previous session. You can click on that. Add URLs, I'll do that in a second. Add an entire folder or add individual files. If I click on remove, I remove the highlighted file. And then find and replace and find and collect. I'll talk about these two icons in a second, but let's add a URL to this file list. So I've got Chrome open and I've entered the word radiography, and let's use this entry for, or this hit I should say, radiography in Wikipedia. Now we don't want PhraseWizard to analyze all of these menu items. There's not much radiographic text likely to be in these menu items because they're just pointers. So I want to scroll down and find this link that says printable version. That should strip them out. So I'm going to copy this URL by hitting Control-C, tab to PhraseWizard, and click on Add URLs. And I'm going to paste in the URL. Now, looking down here, it says you can extract sub-URLs. If I hit that, hey presto, it brings up all of the links on this Wikipedia page, which we can now make use of because this is pointing us to yet more links that we can use to analyze the custom vocabulary. So we'll click on Add, and yeah, if we choose to, we can highlight one of these and remove the entry. We can do that multiple times and remove them. Now, before we do the analysis, which is to click on, we have to click on Find and Collect. I'm going to click on Find and Replace and explain this. This is basically where you filter out some of the entries. So going up to this drop-down arrow, at the moment it's just highlighting whole words only. If I click on the drop-down, let's hit URLs removal. We don't want URLs to be found. Let's then maybe add emails removal. We don't want email addresses to come into the vocabulary either. And then we'll click Replace. Stored the results in a folder called PhraseWizard Results. Now, what's the point of this? Well, actually, this is quite useful. It's stored some individual text files from the sub-URLs, and if we click on one of these, we could tidy up the text and maybe copy and paste from a number of these into one master document and use the document to feed into this. Learn from specific documents in Dragon. Okay, so now we've done the find and replace. Now we need to click on find and collect. This is the actual analysis. And before we do the full analysis, let's just explain. Remove initial word, and you can edit this. At the moment, it's just the word "the" is the article that's excluded, but you could add to this. Include prepositions. So the prepositions included by default are these, and again you could add to these. Right, include abbreviations, so we can edit these. These are the default abbreviations that are allowed. It allows us to find hyphenated phrases. We can check or uncheck that. It allows us to find acronyms in uppercase, either with periods in between, e.g. U.S. or without periods, like US. Abbreviations ending in period. Now this is interesting. What's this custom regular expression feature? So if I click on this, it brings up another dialog box that allows you to add regex expressions. So if we go back to the manual just for one moment. Here's a couple of practical examples. For example, getting the zip number with the state code. This is a US zip number. Or frequent clients. This would be the regex expression you'd use, so we could copy that across. B, getting words or expressions separated by non-breaking space would be this coding. So if we go back to our phrase wizard, find and collect, and paste that in and save it, then in addition the analysis would include custom zip codes. I'm going to cancel that. Advanced processing. You can check or uncheck collect the spoken forms without hyphens. When we go through the results, you'll see that not only has PhraseWizard generated the written forms, but it's also generated spoken forms as well. And we probably want to leave that checked. We don't want to have to verbalize the hyphen every time. So we'll click OK. And here's our list of phrases. Now, for example, to my earlier point, it's picked up X-rays and X-ray, and this column gives the frequency of the occurrence. And as you would expect, X-ray is mentioned many, many times. But if you scroll down to the list, it includes words with only a frequency of 1. So what are these icons for? Well, this is obvious, uncheck all. You can click into these fields and make amendments to the written form and the spoken form. I'm not going to change that. If I click in the written form, again I can change it. And what I would normally do is go through this list and uncheck certain things. Like, for example, we don't want anything to do with Wikimedia or from Wikipedia or this. So you'd go through and uncheck the phrases that don't make sense to you. And this is a very useful feature. Discard below, and it's defaulted to 3. Yeah, you might only want to save high-frequency phrases for your custom vocabulary. And so if we click on discard below 3, and if I scroll down to the bottom, once the analysis is done, it takes a moment, you should find that, yeah, all the entries 3 to 1 are now unchecked in the left-hand column. And it's only when we get above 3 that they are checked. This is a useful feature to display subphrases. So sometimes you'll find that a phrase has a subphrase under it. Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Medicine. Probably wouldn't want to include those. Let's see what else we've got. Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. Yeah, we might want to check osteopathic medicine, for example. Bachelor of Medical Sciences. Let's display subphrases for that. So we might want to check medical sciences. Verify context. So I've got medical sciences highlighted. If I click on verify context, it should show the context of that phrase. No, for some reason it's not. Maybe it has to be the parent. Yeah. So Bachelor of Medical Sciences, it gives the context or the individual entries with that phrase in it. The last thing you want to do is click on Save Check Phrases, vocabulary I created for my customer. And she was really pleased with this because, as I say, she was able to get really high accuracy with Dragon almost immediately because of this very high density of words and phrases. We did make some tweaks in the PhraseWizard software for the written form, spoken form. A good example would be this. COR stands for College of Radiographers, and they always have the small o in the acronym. This is an extremely useful piece of software and one that I really highly recommend.